This week on My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, Tanks for the Memories, starring Rainbow Dash. From the writer who brought you One Bad Apple. And also Winter Wrap-Up, Sisterhood Social, Family Appreciation Day, and Music to My Ears. And also the showstoppers All's Well That Ends Well and Apple Family Reunion. So as you might have gathered, I'm really not sure how to feel about today's writer, Cindy Morrow. But I do know what I like, so okay, what did she come up with this time? Rainbow Dash is looking forward to the winter, but when she finds out that Tank has to hibernate, she hates the idea of spending winter without him so much that she first goes into denial, and then tries to single-handedly stop winter from coming altogether. Well, that sounds like a very delicate and complex depiction of Rainbow Dash. So, okay, how does this episode deliver it?
You shouldn't take your anger out on your friends.
Who said anything about anger? I didn't say anything about anger. I'm not upset, and I am not angry. He's a tortoise, and I'm a dragon.
Same family though, right?
No!
I'll take that as a yes.
Ugh. What are you looking at? Pinkie Pie and I are just having a conversation.
As played up and over the top as an action scene from Fast and Furious. Which is an observation, not a criticism. Don't forget, there's also a lot of that in Testing 1 2 3, a Rainbow Dash fan favorite. Lots of played up goofing off and over the top beating down on herself. But the point still comes through loud and clear. Both episodes still show us what the emotion and the thought process behind it is. It's just, instead of going for purely a nuanced, emotionally investing depiction, that's part of it, but you're also supposed to laugh at it. Cindy Morrow's biggest talent as a writer usually seems to be her understanding of big emotions, hence why she was able to piss me off so much with One Bad Apple. All those big, complex, often difficult moments that life throws your way, which lesser writers would turn into generic melodrama, she gets it. Twilight and Winter Wrap-Up hitting rock bottom and running off in tears after trying so hard to be helpful? Nailed it. Granny Smith and Family Appreciation Day showing Apple Bloom and everyone laughing at her that she has a story like they all will? Nailed it. However, where I think Morrow is more mixed is in her plotting, her ability to craft a story into a cohesive whole, to keep it going strong from beginning to end. Sometimes her episodes can be very unsatisfying for as little as one key component. For example, One Bad Apple is a passable depiction of bullying and three little girls who aren't sure how to handle it. But when it decides to focus mostly on the bully, how tough she is to deal with, and what's the quote-unquote best way to get her to stop, it forgets the investment in our three protagonists as characters, not just in how they're going to get out of this. So in the end, instead of a worthy message on bully prevention, it comes across as a heartbreaking downgrade to the courage and spirit that these characters used to have. And if she misses details that big, well, there's a lot of room to go wrong in episodes that depend on subtle, little details to work. So I think an over-the-top style is a perfect fit for her.
I thought we'd never get a minute to just hang out.
And your minute's up. Your fellow apples are waiting for you to join them.
When she hasn't already gone wrong. So, alright, how well does she pull it off in this episode? Is it entertaining?
So, where do these clouds go?
Over by clear skies.
But there's clear skies everywhere. Yo, clear skies right here. I'll just have to stop winter. I'll keep the weather warm for you. But there's clear skies over there too. That's open skies. There's open skies everywhere.
I'm not everywhere.
Well, that would be a yes. Is it a good depiction of Rainbow Dash?
Maybe we're just staying up too late. Too many daring do stories. Well, what's wrong with him then?
Nothing. He's perfectly fine. He's just going to hibernate. I was just saying how cute he is.
If you think you know, that napping thing is so cute, why don't you go do it?
Still my favorite character. Like I said, she starts out trying to deny the facts in a way that's very relatable. When you're hit with information that's unexpected, unwanted, and doesn't even make a whole lot of sense to you, the gut reaction is to reject it, to look for reasons for what you previously believed to still be true, something that's been termed belief perseverance. But at the same time, you don't want to have to start fights to keep denying it, which, after all, would be a sign that something is wrong. So Rainbow keeps trying to act like everything is fine, even as her frustration boils over. She's so cornered by this unpleasant reality, but it just feels too wrong to let it be true. And when Rainbow wants to be stubborn, there's no one better at it. Except maybe Applejack. But at the same time, is it good at making us feel for her?
I will keep you by my side. starting snowball fights, sipping hot cider by the fire. Don't you want to do those things with me? I'm sorry, ponies, this has to be, for I need my friend and he needs me.
You know, well, I'm sure we all pretty much figured that that's how she felt about Tank, even though she's not the openly affectionate type. It is amazing to see how quickly she forgets about hiding it when the chips are down. There's everything from subtle touches, like instantly choosing him over the winter, to flat out gushing over how much she wants him to stay. I'd say it was almost a little too much, but that might just be because that song sequence starts to seem a little inane after a good minute and a half of it.
And I'll fly until the end of the sky. So I'll be the one who doesn't have to say goodbye.
Even so, the humor, the heart, the personality, yes, it nails all of it. This is, through and through, great stuff, 100%. So moving on to the second half, yeah, you know what I said about Cindy Morrow not always being able to keep it up across the runtime? Well, here she kind of plateaus after the big song, precisely at the halfway point. The next part, where Rainbow decides to go to Cloudsdale and stop Winter at the source, is really just more of the same. Some of it's fun, like the Mission Impossible style break-in, but it's ultimately just a hijinks portion. How does this build on what we already saw? They don't make it look any riskier or tougher to do, or even all that different. Rainbow tries to stop Winter again, nobody notices again, and then it kinda works, before it kinda doesn't. It's not really even more exciting than before. It's bigger in the sense that it has to keep getting bigger until Rainbow ultimately fails, but it adds nothing to what we already did. No key moments, no theme building, nothing new. Plus, to be honest, it gets kinda tedious with the factory hijinks. They're not really funny, and the way it's all crashing down on Rainbow and Tank doesn't really amount to anything, since they get off without even a harsh word. It's just random. And vaguely unpleasant. I guess the fact that Rainbow ironically brought Winter early after all the chaos could have been a fun payoff, even though that's kind of generic and obligatory. If they hadn't treated it like it was really generic and obligatory. I mean, you'd think this would be a little bit funny, that after all the mysterious sabotage and then a huge explosion, everyone looks around and says, huh, I guess that actually made things easier this year. Okay. But no, it's barely even acknowledged. It's like Rainbow was up there literally looking for the end of the stopping Winter subplot so they could just move on already. Hey, wait a minute, you effing douchebag, I like that part! You're just trying everything you can to make it sound bad! Well, first of all, thanks for not dropping the F-bomb in my show there. You have a cute way around it, I might add. And second of all, no, I'm trying to point out why it's not as good as the first part. The second half of the episode is not bad, but after such a good start, it really shows when instead of building on that promise, it gets weaker. I mean, look at our payoff scene, where Rainbow falls into being surly and distant until Fluttershy, of all characters, does this.
Rainbow Dash, your winter is going to be petless. Whatever did you do that for? Because she'll never get past this until she lets it all out.
That's actually a very good moral to keep in mind sometimes, and Fluttershy, who probably knows all about hard feelings like this, turns out to be the perfect one to say it, unlikely enough. I guess she kept her lesson from the Breezies in mind. But the episode hasn't really pushed Rainbow to this point. It sort of just set the hard feelings off to the side after that scene in Act 1, so it ends up feeling more like a rarity moment. And heck, there's still enough here for a great payoff. It's a very funny scene. But the problem is, that's all it is. It's not as cathartic as it should be, because we're not really supposed to laugh at Rainbow and feel for her, we're mostly just supposed to laugh. I mean, come on, I don't ask for much. Aren't you even gonna give us a tagline for her to latch on to? At least make the part where Fluttershy joins in the crying a touching moment, then everyone else can be as funny as you want. I know nobody likes too much sappiness, because I'm no exception, but if this is our payoff to the emotional conflict, then you still have to sell it as such.
Oh, Tank, I'm sure gonna miss you.
So what grade do you give an episode that's half an A+ and half a B-? I mean, there's plenty to take away from it, but I don't know. I have a very precise scale, you see. And compared to the fan favorites that I didn't quite rank as great episodes for various reasons, does this one really deserve it more? Some of those other ones were certainly more consistent. I mean, does this one really pack enough standout moments?
You're practically twins. Do I look angry? Fly, and I'll fly. Applejack cries on the inside, Twilight!
It's true. Hey! Where'd our fluffy clouds go?
fluffy clouds. He's over there.
Okay. It's enough. And truth be told, the way they do Who's on First could possibly be the best side reference this show's ever given us. So, alright, borderline great it is. And actually, that makes it Season 5's first among the standalone episodes. I have to say, it took Season 4 a lot longer. So congratulations, Cindy Morrow. I guess as long as you stay away from the thornier material, you and I will get along just fine.
Two can play that game. Who? Not who. Two!
But I make no promises. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. If you didn't, send it to your enemies. And if you'd like to watch another video in this series, click here. Otherwise, just check the description for more links, and I'll see you next time.